Hello Gemini, it's Maggie the Irish Gypsy here with your November 2025 mid-month general reading. So we are looking at the second half of November for you. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here. Please do subscribe and like. And if you know any of your other sign placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, watch those videos as well for additional perspective. If something about this reading hits home and resonates with you and you'd like to explore more about what it means in your own personal life or situation, or you just like the reading style, if you're interested in a personal reading with me for yourself or perhaps as a gift for someone else, we are approaching the holidays and personal readings are lovely gifts to give because they're easy and they're personal. But if you're interested, you can email me for more information, Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. You can click on the description below for those contact details as well. I can usually get back to you within the same day. I offer all different kinds of readings, types, lengths, costs, spreads. I cover all areas of life, love and romance, relationship compatibility, career, work, money, investment, 6 and 12-month overviews. And I'm quite diligent about timely scheduling of personal readings because I do this full time. So if you're interested, email me. Okay, Gemini, our lovely twins, air sign. Let's see what the second half of November has in store for you. We begin with the Five of Wands, some conflict or competition. Conflict could be within yourself, with other people. You could be in competitions. There might be some arguments, petty arguments, or fighting about the same thing over and over and over again. Everybody vying for the same thing, everybody wanting to be right. We have the Page of Wands. Messages coming in. Could be exciting messages. Perhaps starting off on a new path. It could be here that someone, whether it's you or someone else, could be behaving in a childish way in terms of what you are in conflict with. This is if you're in conflict with another person about something that you've been in conflict with for a long time, or it just kind of keeps going around and around and around. Somebody may be acting in an immature way. I'm getting some stubbornness here as well. Next, we have the World. Significant milestones, completion, achievement, the end of a significant cycle. It's a card of graduation because you want to move on to something new or you want to move up to a different level of something. Probably this what the conflict is about. Now, your crowning energy representing overall focus and theme for the second half of November, Gemini, is the Chariot. You want what you want. The Chariot is a card of success through perseverance, determination, and willpower. You have a goal, you have a dream, there's something you want to do, something you want to acquire, something you want to accomplish. The energy of the Chariot is you can achieve it by maintaining that focus and making sure that all the moving parts, meaning the things that you would need to do to overcome or the steps you would need to take in order to accomplish that you stay on top of that. You don't lose your focus, your momentum. Success through perseverance, determination, and willpower. It feels like you may be in conflict with yourself about whether or not this is the right thing to do, but for most of you, I feel like there's a naysayer or there's somebody significant enough to you that you're in conflict about what you want. They don't agree with you. Let's take a look at that Chariot card. The Ace of Pentacles. Aces always represent a new beginning, the opportunity to start down a new path. This may have practical elements to it. It might be a new job, a new career path, or going to work if you haven't been working. It may be moving, relocating, a combination of all of those things. We have the Ten of Cups and the King of Swords. The King of Swords is likely you, Aquarius, Gemini, Libra. For some of you, it might be another air sign or somebody who manifests like that King of Intellect, air, clear, direct, right to the point, showing up as a king, but this is a general reading, could be female as well. And the Ten of Cups, the happy home, happily ever after, white picket fence. It's a card tend to represent cycle completion or achievement too. The Ten of Cups represents finally reaching a place where all the pieces have fallen into place, particularly where home and family is concerned. So this card can represent marriage, children, family, that whole picture. It can sometimes represent the home itself, the physical home itself. Some of you may be wanting to move, to start a new life somewhere, to get married. You may want to go to work, change jobs, change career paths. There's a sense here about whatever the Ten of Cups means for you in terms of the happiness and health of the family you already have or the one you hope to have. The decision you want is either that or something that you feel will have a positive effect on that, or be the thing that brings that together for you or puts you on the path to that. So let's check out the Five of Wands. Let's see what this conflict is. In work or career or business, it may be that it may be that the balance you have between your personal life, home and family, if you have that, and your work and business life is out of balance, and you need to create a healthier balance for yourself between, your outside world and your personal world, maybe work and home. And it may be that your employer or boss or coworkers or partner aren't in agreement with that, and you may be thinking you might need to explore getting a new job if that's the case. There's a new practical beginning here, and one of the driving forces behind it is home and family. So let's see about this conflict in the Five of Wands. The Emperor, the Seven of Pentacles, the Seven of Wands. The source of the conflict. So someone is in disagreement with you, and this person is showing up as the Emperor. Now, again, in a general reading, I don't pay too much attention to gender because it could be anything, right? There's many of you watching. But the Emperor does have a very strong masculine energy. So, and it represents somebody who is in a position of status, seniority, decision-making energy, right? The boss, the VP, the judge in the courtroom, a father figure, could even be a romantic partner, likely somebody older. But this is the Emperor. This is somebody who is in control and likes to be in control. And when the Emperor comes out with the Five of Wands, this typically means a power struggle of some kind. Could be a power struggle with your boss, supervisor, in terms of professional life. It could be, even if it's school or study, it could be, struggle with, a professor, somebody in a position of status and seniority. In your personal life or personal relationships, this can represent a father or father figure, or your romantic partner, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend. But again, it's a power struggle issue here. Seven of Pentacles and Seven of Wands, considering whether or not to invest in something, but there's very stubborn energy here. It's like the Emperor is like, it's my way or the highway, because I know best. And that's the nature of the conflict. They're not in agreement with what you want. Let's take a look at this Page of Wands. The Five of Wands again. Fights, impulsivity, perhaps somebody being a bit childish or immature, or somebody who's saying that you're childish and immature in what you want, or you don't know what you're talking about, or you don't have the kind of experience I do. Harsh words, perhaps. Seven of Cups and the Lovers, partnership here. The Seven of Cups is kind of daydreaming, fantasizing, looking at the best possible way that something could work out in the most perfect possible way. And choices, significant choices. Now, the lovers represents a partnership, but it's about more than that. It can be romantic or otherwise. It often implies romantic here, and this may be part of it. But it represents kind of standing at a crossroad and needing to make a choice. And the choice is, and it's about whether our choices are in alignment with our what we believe, our values, our moral and ethical foundation. Is the job that I'm in, is the relationship that I'm in, is what I'm focused on and where I'm putting my efforts, is that really in alignment with what I believe? It feels here like something like you have gotten out of alignment with what you really want in your life, and you're trying to recorrect, to make choices that are more in alignment with what you feel you need to be doing in your path. And someone is not in agreement with you. And it may be someone you're out of alignment with someone else. And because this is a general reading, who that is and the nature of that relationship is going to vary. But that's at the essence of this reading. I feel like they may be telling you you're either unrealistic or you're only focused on perfection or the best and most possible way that this could be. For example, in romantic relationships, it may be that you're in a relationship with someone, maybe you've been in a relationship with someone for a while, and you want to take it up to the next level, move in together, start a family, get married. But your partner is saying, oh, you think that that'll solve everything, or oh, you think that makes everything perfect, or oh, it's not necessary, or oh, you don't have a realistic grasp on things, Everything is fine the way it is. That's what the other side is wanting to say, and they're pretty firmly stuck on that. It just may be that you may not be in alignment with this person, which presents, of course, another choice. Do you live in acceptance of that, or do you take matters into your own hands and walk away if no positive change can occur? So let's take a look now at the World card. So the World is major endings, a major milestone, a significant phase of your life is completed, and it's time to move on to another one, because then we begin at the beginning of the deck again with the Fool, a whole new journey, a whole new chapter. Now the World card in terms of ending can represent that something ends and you leave it behind, you walk away from it, whether it's the job or the relationship, because you've reached an impasse and there isn't anything more that you can gain from it. Or you reach a point in the job, in the relationship, whatever, where it's time to take that next step, because it's a card of graduation, so leveling up so that you can deepen that and expand that. So it's going to mean different things. The World. Page of Cups, Eight of Cups, Ace of Wands. This feels a bit like an ultimatum, loving, but firm. Because the Page of Cups is positive message, or a message of love, or a message driven by love. Somebody with an open heart. And then we have the Ace of Wands, which is a new beginning, the beginning of a new path, passion, desire, excitement, creativity, enthusiasm, excitement. You want to do this, you're ready to do this, you need to go on this new path. But in the middle of those cards, we have the Eight of Cups, which is leaving, turning your back on something which has, it may be that you thought it was going to be something at the beginning, but it's turned out not to be. And now you realize that it's time to move on, or it's something that's run its course. It may have been the right dream for you for a time, but now it's time to move on. This is leaving behind things which are ultimately unfulfilling for us in the Eight of Cups, because the next card, of course, would be the Nine of Cups, which is your heart's desire, your wishes granted, your cups overflowing with abundance. Here in the Eight of Cups, you realize that this is not it, and it's time to leave. So it feels like you're kind of drawing a line in the sand, so to speak. Again, whether it's in a personal relationship, friendship, a romantic relationship, a business relationship, it's like, look, I've given all this time and dedication. I care very much about it, but it's also important that I continue to move forward, or that there has to be growth and expansion here from where we're at here. And I want there to be that, but if there can't be, I must go forward, so I will have to leave. That's what this feels like. So, advice, guidance. What does Spirit suggest, advise, feedback? Strength, the Two of Swords. Judgment. Strength, the Two of Swords. Facing your fears, your doubts, your insecurities, doing the thing that you're afraid to do. It's also represents that you have the courage, the strength. And courage doesn't mean you're not afraid. In fact, you have to be afraid to have courage, because in a way, fear is the mother of courage. There's no need to have courage if you're not afraid of something, right? So this says that you have the strength, the courage, in order to confront this and deal with it and move through it in the way that you feel is best for you. It looks like a tough choice, a tough decision here in the Two of Swords. There may be a reluctance or resistance to looking at it fully, because then you kind of have to make a decision, right? And it also advises that the decision that you make needs to be made on an intellectual level, like looking at what the truth of a situation is, and also on an intuitive level, what your gut tells you. Not our surface emotions or fears, but on what we know to be true and real about who we are and what we want and what we need, and our intuition about that as well, even if you feel like it's a tough choice or that your choices are limited. Because here with Judgment, you're being called to action here. And we're accountable for our actions, right? Nothing exists in a vacuum. It has to even out fairly one way or the other, now or later, right? Because that's what it means to be judged. To be judged means that we're called to answer for our actions. So judgment is a call to action, to make a decision. Typically, this card shows up when Spirit wants you to move forward on a path. It's up to you. But again, we're accountable for our actions. You're being called to move in this direction. Four of Cups. Don't get stuck in a cycle of complacency and apathy in a situation where you know you're not happy or fulfilled in, even though you might very well be getting some needs met from it. But you might tell yourself, well, better the devil I know than the one I don't. Don't do that. I feel very much here like Spirit is calling you to move forward. It's our hope that when we do this, that we want the people we love and care about, or the situations we care about, to go with us, but it's not always possible. Ten of Pentacles and the World again. Long-term security and stability, particularly around home, family, continuity, financial and material matters, and emotional matters as well. It's a sense of not having to worry about the future because there's an assurance there, right? Again, Spirit's calling you to put yourself on a path that opens you up to the possibility and potential of true long-term security and stability, financial, material, emotional too as well, depending on which area of life this is affecting. So you're being called to move forward on this path, even if other people are not on board. So, but free will, free agency always, right? I'm going to leave it there. Gemini, those are your messages for the second half of November 2025. And for those of you for whom this made sense and hit home, I hope it was helpful and gave you some food for thought. If it did, and you would like to do a deeper dive on it and explore what it means in your own personal life and situation, maybe you like the reading style. Again, if you're interested in a personal reading with me for yourself, or perhaps as a lovely gift for someone else, you can email me for more information, Maggie1McGuire@gmail.com. You can look at that description of this video below to see those contact details as well. I would be delighted to hear from you, to work with you. I will see you all in a short while. Be safe, be well, many blessings to you. And again, those of you that are celebrating Thanksgiving during this time, I hope you have a wonderful, safe, lovely holiday. Take care. Bye-bye.